the judiciary in this country masquerading as judges, where some of them have self-serving purposes to implement. Yes, my name is Chief Venerable Barrister Wonodi. As it pleases God, I am the leader of the PDP in Ward 9, Ilela Limni of Emuha local government. At the same time, the leader of the Ishimbam group of clans, making up 4 wards in Emuha local government. Those 4 wards are collectively known as Ishimbam group of clans. Today's election, I will say outrightly, is a culmination of the expectations of the people of Rivers State, especially at this time of our political sojourn. Recall that the Supreme Court gave a landmark decision a couple of months ago, where the Supreme Court, at least in one full swoop, decided to abrogate completely the system of ad hoc rulership of the local government councils by way of caretaker committees. And the Supreme Court made it very emphatic that elections into local governments must be conducted, and only local government elected officials should be made to handle the affairs of local governments. And in fulfillment of that, the present governor of Rivers State, being a very law-abiding citizen of the country, decided early enough to announce that local government election has been fixed for the 5th of October. That is today. And everybody in Rivers State, all the good, loving people of Rivers State, have been right on to ensure that this very objective is actualized. So they all worked assiduously to ensure that today's event becomes a dream come true. And before this time, there were snippets of information that filtered to us. And, the information was that some elements in the political system who aggregated themselves into some associations and so on, fragments of parties, including some fragments of factions of the PDP and that of the APC, say, that they will not take part in today's election. We actually, the reasons we are not made known, we don't know. And based on that, we decided to say, we who belong to this flank of the political system, we will continue, with our intention to ensure that the Supreme Court decision was actualized. And we started working very hard to make sure today becomes a reality. And that actually happened. Not only we in this, faction of the PDP, because we belong to the faction that are working with the governor and who want true democracy to hold sway in our own political soil and subsoil here. Apart from that, there were also many other parties that said, no, we don't have any reason to abstain from the elections. And those parties came in, including a faction of the APC, including the whole of the Labour Party, including the Young People's Party, including some other parties. There are many. The numbers are legion, And they all worked hard to ensure that they field their candidates, in different capacities of the local government system to conduct, to contest today's election. And that has been done. Here in our own area, the election, despite the fact that there was what we may consider an order that is not appropriate, and that police should not take part. But we are hearing that is part of the ruling of a federal high court, the ruling that came in later, to to say that, oh, the election, he didn't say the election should not hold, but that the police should not provide security and so on and so forth. Purely technical issues, you know. But prior to that time, a well-considered judgment had been delivered by a court of competent jurisdiction here in Rivers State. The Port Harcourt High Court had held that this election of today must hold. Not quite long, almost contemporaneously, another election, another court far away at Abuja gave that ruling, which I hear the Inspector General of Police were trying to implement, you know, by way of saying, no, police should not take part in the election and all that. To me, it seems that it is an improper understanding of what the position should be in law. Well, the IGP might not be a lawyer or whatever, or may not know the nuances of law. But when courts of corporate jurisdiction, you know, or coordinate jurisdictions, you know, decide matters, especially on the same subject matter, you know, it is an abuse of court process. The court of first instance, being the High Court, decided there should be election. So another court of first instance, being the Federal High Court, which has the same coordinate jurisdiction, you know, ought not to make a similar decision along the same judicial trajectory on the same subject matter. That is very wrong, abysmally wrong. So, and to compound it, the court that held, the Federal High Court, has no jurisdiction when you look at the intricacies, the issues of law involved. One, they ought not to, that court ought not to deliver that judgment, because the respondent, the defendant in that matter, the substantive defendant being the RISEC, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, is a creation, it's a state agency, a creation, you know, although it's a creation of the Constitution, but it's under the purview of the state. It's not an agency of the federal government. So ordinarily, the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction under Section 251 of the Constitution, where the jurisdiction of the state of Federal High Court has been clearly spelled out. And one area that they ought not to venture into is an area where they do not, where the defendant is purely a state agency. They have no powers at all. So venturing into that area and then declaring that they shouldn't provide. So, and then secondly, and more importantly, you know, the state government, neither the state government nor RISEC was served. Before a court order is sought to be enforced, the other party must have been served. The judgment was delivered just a night or so before a public holiday in Rivers State was declared. To the parties were not served. So there was no basis to enforce a judgment where a party has not been served directly as required under the Sheriff and Civil Process Act of Nigeria, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. So the whole thing they did on that area, especially on the other side, is a complete legal aberration, you know, trying to even go into the mundane step of using self-help. You know, we have long passed the stage where an agency of government will resort to naked self-help in order to actualize or allegedly actualize a judgment of court. It is improper, it is odious, it is highly condemnable, it is anachronic, and it makes us, you know, takes back the judiciary to the 18th and 19th century. We've long passed that stage. This is 21st century, where the judiciary ought to be in tune with modern developments internationally. So I want to use this opportunity to call on the present Chief Justice of Nigeria, who has just taken over the reins of the judiciary in this country, to step in and stop this incessant judicial water hyacinths that are all over the judiciary in this country, masquerading as judges, where some of them have self-serving purposes, to implement. So the judiciary should bring them, the Chief Justice should bring them to order by sanctioning those erring judges that will unnecessarily make judicial pronouncements that are very wrong and knowingly so. Thank you very much.